Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Maria. I'm a clean makeup artist and beauty expert located in Toronto, Canada. And today I'm going to be talking to you about 5 easy steps on how you can transition to clean beauty. I feel like the definition of clean beauty is very confusing. If you Google the term, you will find a myriad of different explanations what it is, what it's not, how it's unregulated, how it's filled with greenwashing, because everyone is calling themselves a clean brand. But what I want to give you today is I want to sift through a bit of the confusion and help you take some action so you can create a cleaner beauty routine for yourself. Now, I'm not going to try to define it because I find that it gets very messy when you do. There's so much information online, but you will find different ways that people are trying to interpret it. So what clean beauty means to me is that you're using products that are made with better ingredients. Some people call that non-toxic or non-toxic beauty, but again, that has so many different definitions. If you're going to go into the dictionary, it talks about how non-toxic would be, non-toxic for you or in the environment. But I feel like what it is for you might not be for someone else. For example, there might be an ingredient that is toxic for you, that you're allergic, that you break out, that makes you feel horrible, and this ingredient might be okay for me to use. It might also be okay for the environment. So it is so confusing trying to decipher what it is and what it's not. But the way that I want to explain it to you is that if you choose to go towards clean beauty, is that you want to move towards simpler, cleaner ingredients that are better for you, all right, that are better for your family, that are better for your household. I didn't start, in this kind of cleaner way of life in beauty specifically. It was more in my household, and I had to move in that direction because of the skin sensitivities that my second son had. So yes, it's not so sexy. I did not switch off my mascara first, and I'm here to tell you about it. I switched out my home cleaners, and that's what made sense at the time to me. Now, this journey started 5 years ago, so I want to share some of the tips, and I want to make it easy for you and not overwhelming. And I don't want you to leave confused or, afraid to take the next steps. All right, so let's get to it. So the number one thing that I want you to think about is that what are your reasons for wanting to do this? I feel like we all have our own reasons when we're looking to improve something, when we're looking to, bring in some healthier rituals or some healthier, like a healthier lifestyle. And now that it's, still the beginning of the year, I feel like a lot of us are looking for this information. Perhaps you're here to gain a bit of inspiration, and that's totally cool. But I find that when you have your own why, it just really fuels you and propels you forward to take some action and make this happen. So what is it for you? Are you here because you have found out that your skin is now a little bit more sensitive, right? As we get towards those menopausal years of our lives, our skin will be more discerning. So perhaps suddenly that has started happening for you, and this is kind of like fueling you to go and ditch some ingredients and pick up some better ones, some healthier ones for you, right? So, and for your skin. Is it because you were diagnosed with, a certain condition? Is there an ailment in your life or a sickness that is now fueling you forward, wanting to do things better for yourself, wanting to shed some toxic ingredients for you, something that's sensitizing, etc. There are so many different reasons. Is it because you desire less products, a simplicity in packaging? A lot of people look to clean beauty, and I know when we talk about clean beauty, we're talking about ingredients. However, it is those same brands that are doing things better for the environment. It is those more minimalist minimalistic approaches to beauty, the less is more type of philosophy that has you thinking perhaps about packaging, has you thinking about a refillable mascara. Yes, there is such a thing, and it's these cleaner beauty brands that are doing that now. Whatever your reasons are for being here, welcome. I'm going to give you some tips. I'm going to tell you, how I got started, and I'm going to give you some, things to think, consider, and look out for. Again, this journey is your own, and it's not going to be a quick one, and it is one where you're learning, right? And you need to be your own advocate. You need to learn to do this for yourself and to shop more consciously with your eyes open and with some information that I'm going to share with you here today. So now that you have your own reasons for wanting to do this, let's get to number two. Number two is, some resources. So let's say you're new here and you haven't, dug out anything online. Where would you start? I'll tell you some of my favorite places when I started about 5 years ago. The first one would be the David Suzuki website. So David Suzuki, I believe it's .org. I'm going to put everything here for you. And I found that I loved kind of perusing through his research, his materials, and also the fact that he does have a dirty dozen list. Now, a dirty dozen, that would be 12 ingredients that you should be ditching and not using and trying to avoid in your cosmetics. Now, if you go to other websites, they have 17 ingredients. For example, if you go to sustainablejungle.com, they have 17 ingredients that you shouldn't be using. And if you go to EWG, which is Skin Deep, or you go to Eco Certified, Verified, they all have their lists. Clean at Sephora has their own list. So I feel like for me, I wanted to take more the science approach, and I really liked what David Suzuki had listed. It is 12 ingredients. You don't have to start there. I'll give you some tips about that later on. But when I went on there, there were some resources that I could peruse through and read. And I found that the more I looked at that, the more these ingredients kind of stayed in my head. Now, there are some ways to kind of narrow it down. And again, it's going to be for your own reasons. If it is sensitivities, what are you sensitive to? Perhaps we need to discover that together. If you need some help with that, I do have virtual services that you can book, and we can have a chat, and we can kind of customize and dig through what it is. This process is not, cheap, and it's not quick. So you do really have to learn and find out what works for you, because what works for you, it might not work for me, and the other way around. So be careful of some of these sites and apps, like for example, the EWG, the Skin Deep, and also the Think Dirty. These are apps, and it's very quick to have them on your phone and go around your house, like scanning everything. Trust me, I've been there, I've done it. But you also need to understand that they vet certain products. I know, the Think Dirty app has been criticized because there isn't like a really kind of scientific way that they're rating these products. Like, so you find a product that has this ingredient and it's a 5, and then it's like something else is a 1. So these are not perfect, and that's why I say that you have to be your own advocate. I haven't found a website that's perfect, and they're also vetting their own products through affiliations and stuff like that. They're making money out of telling you what to use and what not to use. So, go in there, but just be aware that, this is not a perfect system. Read up on some ingredients, decide why it is that you want to avoid these specific ingredients, and then move towards that. Now, I know that 12 is hard to memorize. 17 on that other website was even, it's even more. Make some little notes on your phone, keep a list. So when you go out shopping, you have those phone notes jotted down. You could also, put them in order to what's most important for you. I know for me, one on top of my list would be synthetic fragrance. That's the first thing that I eliminated in my household. The detergents, the laundry powders, the cleaners, etc. So that would be definitely on top of my list. So if I was to make my, my dirty dozen, list, I would definitely put synthetic fragrance on top of that. When you go into these websites, I don't think there is an order that they've listed these products. So just keep that in mind and make that list personalized to you. Now, just like the apps vary and the rating systems vary, so do the brands. A lot of brands have ingredients that they don't use. They'll tell you right on the website, we don't use parabens, we don't use synthetic fragrance, we don't use this, we don't use that. Do not be blinded by that, my friend. If they're not using all these things, what are they using? Have you looked into that? Why don't you go pull up that product ingredient listing and have a look and see if they've taken all these things out? What have they put in? All right. There might be something in there that you want to avoid, even though it's not on their list of removed ingredients. So just some food for thought for you there. It can be quite tricky and quite sneaky. And this is why this industry, because it's unregulated, it's really, really hard to have like a finalized format or a formal, list that everyone is going to follow. Clean at Sephora might not be clean for you. I have seen stuff at Clean at Sephora that contains synthetic fragrance. That is not one of the ingredients that they remove, but it's one of the ingredients on the top of my list. So you see what I'm saying here, okay? This has to be personalized and customized to you. So go for brands that are transparent. Go for brands that tell you right up front what they're using, what they're not using. Again, this is very personal. Like, do you want to just have organic ingredients? Just because the ingredients are organic, does it also make them clean and non-toxic? There's so much, verbiage out there. So what is important to you? That's what's key here. Is it vegan? Is it organic? Is it completely unscented? Is it the labor laws? Like for example, mica, there can be some sketchiness to mining that ingredient. So what are your values? What are your, ethics when it comes to beauty products? Start there. And then this is, I think, a way to move forward and make a list that is personalized, customized, and makes sense for you. Number 3, now that you have, some websites to dig around in, now that you know your whys, your values, what is it that you need? What do you want to replace? I feel like there are so many products out there. It can be overwhelming when we're first starting out. This is supposed to be easy steps to getting you to switch. So, you're not going to go throw anything out. I've seen a lot of influencers out there just say, you know what, just get rid of this and go buy that. And it's very simple to say that perhaps when you're gifted products for free from other brands or you have unlimited funds, that's really great for you that you can afford to do that. But not everyone can do that. It's also very wasteful. Are we talking about clean beauty ending up in the landfill? And is it just the ingredients, right? Is it not also hoarding all these products or ditching them before they're done and then they go and land in the landfill and they probably sit there outliving all of us. So there's just so many things to consider. But if you decide what you want to replace, right, then make a little short list and start with something that's easy, something that you use every day. All right. So, choose a mascara or a body lotion. Now, I prefer to switch out, I would say, the products that cover a majority of skin area. So think of those big real estate items. What are they? Your lotions, right? Is it maybe your shampoo or something that, your foundation, face cream? But I think it's just much easier to switch over, a moisturizer or a body lotion than get into the nitpicky stuff about makeup. Because with makeup, there's a certain way we want it to perform. And if you are using a pencil, once a week on your lash line and it's not irritating you, keep your eye pencil. You don't have to get rid of it, but try to focus on the products that cover larger areas of the body. I think that is, more significant. You're lathering yourself everywhere with a synthetic, fragrance product or another chemical that you want to avoid. All right. And remember, the word chemical is not a bad word. Everything is a chemical, but we are looking for chemicals that you don't want in there. And you want to replace them with something more natural, a simpler ingredient, perhaps a type of oil. Think of argan, jojoba. So many beautiful ingredients out there that are simple and nourish the skin. So starting out, with a moisturizer, choose the one that you want. Do a little bit of research. If you have any way to get samples on your hands or go test it, do that, and then start there. All right. Same goes for body lotion. I think that those are pretty easy swaps. Okay. Number 4 would be, what are your shopping options? So now that, let's say you want that moisturizer right there, you're running out, perfect timing. Let's go replace it. So where are you going to go? So I'm here located in Canada, so we don't have as many options as, my viewers in the States. But I have found, recently that Shoppers Drug Mart, which is a big one here in Canada, has recently added a section that's called Thoughtful Choices. Again, what thoughtful choices means to Shoppers Drug Mart is completely different to what it means to you or what it means to Sephora. So do your due diligence and just go through and check the ingredients of what they're curating in there. Sephora, again, they have Clean at Sephora, but please, have a closer look at the individual products that you're deciding to get. Remember, Clean at Sephora doesn't mean clean at Sephora to anybody else, all right? And also, I also found that here in Canada, I recently went onto the Walmart Canada website and I was able to find Ilia on there. So that is shocking and surprising. I was also in my local Walmart and they started, on the shelves, kind of curating a clean beauty section. They even had a sign on the top. I didn't find that anything clean was on that wall, but perhaps these are their baby steps. But online, I was able to find a clean makeup brand. And again, for here in Canada, online and in person, if you are in Toronto, we have the Detox Market, which curates, clean brands. That's, I think, a great place to go. If you have access to that and if you have the budget. I don't think that it is the most, cost effective. The brands in there are a little bit more, pricey, but perhaps it would be a place to start and go in and test some stuff out if you have it near you, and then see if you can get a better price somewhere online. I also curate my own shop and I support Canadian brands. I have a limit of what I want the most expensive product to be. I do. You know why? Because I want you to be able to buy it. So I have, like a serum that is, over 100. Active serum. This is a specialty product. And I believe it's about 120. Nothing, 120, 130, nothing else. That is Canadian dollars. Nothing else goes above that. I want to be very diligent with what I'm providing to you. And I'm always looking for cleaner options. So if you want to see my curated brands, I'm going to put, of course, everything below, but I can be found at cleanbeautycurator.ca. And for my viewers in the States, you have so many more options. Again, check your Walmart website, check your Detox Market. You also have Target, lots of options there. You have Credo Beauty, Folan, which I had the honor of visiting, when I was in the States. And you also, of course, have the Detox Market because it's an American brand. You have way more options, but again, look through the ingredients. I know there's stuff that's been, banned in Canada that hasn't been banned in the States in terms of ingredients. And the same goes for Europe, where they have even stricter guidelines. So again, this is all going to be a learning process for you. Take your time and go one step at a time so you don't get overwhelmed. And number 5 is enjoy the journey. If you decided to do this is not a temporary, switch that you're just going to do this and then go back to it. Because I feel like the more you learn and the more you know, you can't remove that from your brain. So, as they say, once you know, and you're going to decide that now you're on this path and you're just going to get, deeper into it and learn as you go. So be patient with yourself. take it an ingredient at the time or a product at the time, just so you can make the swaps and start seeing the difference on your skin. I think that is what's mind-blowing, is that once you get on this journey with these products, whether you just ditched your, I don't know, L'Oreal moisturizer and decided just to use argan oil, you're going to see the difference on your skin. I am 47 years old and I've been doing this now for about 5 years. And, you know, it's so interesting how sensitive we are now as a family. Like the minute we smell something that is really heavy synthetically, you know, because our home is fragrance free, with the exception of some essential oils that we use in our laundry powders and sometimes diffuse around the home. So simplify things for yourself. Take notes on what those 12 ingredients are, but start out with the ones that are most important for you. Do a little bit of research and start looking out for those. I think also like reading ingredient labels is a skill. You'll get better as you get on, on with it. I have some other videos that I'm going to link here for you, and I'm going to also link them below on some, 5 ingredients to avoid. I've narrowed it down to 5. I took a, little trip into Walmart and the drugstore. So I'll give you all the tips that I need. But again, this this journey is yours, and you're the only one who's going to make the decisions that are best for you. And the one last tip that I want to give you is that if you want to go, to simplify things, if you want to do the 5 easy steps to skincare, sorry, these are my notes, start simplifying what you use. Using 20 products, it doesn't matter, I guess, where they come from or what they are. Think about all the ingredients that are going on your body. You're going to have a much harder time swapping all of those over and looking through all those ingredients lists. It's tedious. It's going to be time consuming. So perhaps if you simplified your routines, if you simplified what you buy and how much you use, it would be much easier to switch over, and you would be applying way less ingredients onto your skin. All right, everyone. So these are my tips for today. Please drop any questions below. Let me know where you are. Have you taken the steps towards simplifying your routine and taking kind of a leap, or, starting your clean beauty journey? These are supposed to be, 5 tips here. I mean, I could give you so many more. I could sit here and talk to you about ingredients. I don't want to influence your decisions because the reasons why I went on this journey are very different. But if you had to ask me what is one ingredient, Maria, come on, Maria, just give me one. Let's simplify it. It would be synthetic fragrance. It's because there's so many other ingredients hiding inside synthetic fragrance, and I really don't like that. The other ingredients that are listed, I can look it up, I can tell what it is. With synthetic fragrance, you have no idea. There could be 30, 40 ingredients hiding into that single, I guess the 2 words, synthetic fragrance, or even just fragrance or perfume. So that's one of the things that I'm very sensitive to. And, I love smelling good as well. However, I don't like how the synthetic fragrance is something that consumers don't have the right to look into. So if I was to start somewhere, that's where I would start. All right. So just my opinion. Let me know what you think. And I thank you again so much for being here. Thank you for watching, liking, subscribing. It's really an honor to be able to be here and talk to you and guide your, your clean beauty choices. I'll catch you here with another video next week. Thank you so much. Bye.